Welcome back to the Advanced Puzzle Building tutorial. I am Kevin Urick, and today I will be showing you how to make two-part mold boxes as well as a one-part mold box, but I will not go into very much detail on the one-part mold box because there's many tutorials online how to do that already. What you're going to need for this tutorial are a putty knife, Legos, possibly a Lego large, just Lego pad, whatever this is called, and sulfur-free clay, non-hardening, and you will need, again, your masterpiece. This happens to be for my face-turning rhombic dodecahedron, and this is what I'll be making a two-part mold of today. So I'll go to my desk and we will start. Alright, so the first thing you'll want to do is set your pieces down to where you'll want them in the mold. I recommend about a centimeter of space in between your pieces, just so you don't have any problems in your final mold. And then first what you're going to do is build a Lego box perimeter around your mold. Make sure to leave a small gap when you're building this around your mold, and this will be important later. And there we go. Now I've got a perimeter around these pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and just build another layer and then come back. Alright, so now that I have a nice perimeter set around my pieces made out of Legos, I'm going to go ahead and take it off and make sure it stays together, and then move this stuff for a second. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on a flat surface that can't stick, because I'm going to be putting clay in this. Take your clay and just break off some chunks of it and just start packing it in the box. All you're going to want to do is fill this up to the top, and then you're going to be flipping it over. So once you got that filled, all you're going to do is take your putty knife, which I need to go get real quick. So you're going to take your putty knife and just go ahead right across the top and slowly take off the clay. Be careful not to hit yourself with the putty knife, because even though it won't cut you, it will hurt. And then you're just going to go ahead and flip this over. And then do the exact same thing. Fill in all the cracks with clay. Go ahead and fill it over the top again. By the way, the methods that I use in this tutorial are similar to those taught by Clay and Eva, so I'd like to give them credit for their tutorial, because it told me how to do this step that I'm doing right now. So now that I've got it filled up to the top, make sure it's all flat, and go ahead and do the exact same thing. Take your knife blade across. And let me go one more time through. And then go ahead and just smooth any extra little bumps off with your finger. Now this piece does not want to stay in. Let's try that. There we go. And I feel there's a little low spot right here, so I'm just going to add a little bit of clay, just like that, and then go ahead and take my knife blade again and run over it one more time. And what this is doing is forming a perfectly flat clay bed for your pieces. Alright, that should be about good. And I'll turn off the camera for a second. Now that you've got your clay bed perfectly flat, what you're going to do is decide on where you're going to put your mold line for your piece. I see on this piece, the best mold line would be right down the middle. So when I take the piece out, I'll have two perfect halves. And what I'm going to do is all you do, position your pieces. You may want to check the size real quick. So that looks about right. And all you're going to do is just push the piece in. And I want this about halfway, so I'll make sure to do that. And then do it with the other piece as well. Hopefully my head's not getting in the way. I don't think so. And then just make sure to smooth all around the piece with your finger, just to make sure there's no little creases formed when you put it in the clay. Now that I've done this, you can see I left a little bit of space in between them still. And just go ahead and build the rest of your mold box. The Legos need to be over the top of the piece, so make sure they exceed that. Needs a little bit more smoothing. You can take your Legos off the base, it's fine. Now that you have your mold box built like that, you're going to take something like a pen backing, which has a nice round back to it, and you're going to make 4 keys on the edges of your mold. And make sure not to touch your piece with these keys. So what I'm going to do is slowly push the pen into the clay. Go about half a centimeter in. And when I take it out, you'll see now that I have a little hole right there. See, I'm just twisting it into the mold slowly. Make sure not to distort parts. So now I've got 4 indents in the clay, and these will be transferred to the mold like that. So now next tutorial will be pouring your 2-part mold. Thanks for watching, and see you later.